Okay. We'll give everything a second to catch up there. Mio tipskansik kahyu. Live again, November 23rd. I'm just going to share this on my Facebook. Da-da-da. There we go. And then I think there were some. There we copy link. I'm going to share this out to a couple of folks who asked me to. As we get fired up, let the stream warm up. I usually I see things fire up a little quicker than this, but that's fine. Give it a couple minutes there. And then there was one more person. I think this fellow. All right. And then I'm just going to trust that Twitch will figure its thing out. If you're on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, I'd love it if you drop me a comment just to make sure that that stream is working fine. I think we're okay. All right. I was having a look at this. We're going to do some transcribing in a minute. I was just looking at this little story. This is out of one of Bloomfield's notebooks, and I was going to try and read. This is I think the first page, and this was, it says the 27th of September 1924. I believe this is the first page, and I believe this is the second page. Anyway, I was just going to read through it because I've looked at it several times. I think it looks really, you can see there's two different levels of, two different writing here. So, oh yeah, let me get my, just let me get that going here. Close that. I got too many things going on. What is this? Trying to find where the rest of my, I have this tool, there it is right there. Now how do I do, shut that off? No. Yeah, see that wants to write. Just quit. I'm gonna quit that. So if I can get rid of enough icons in the top corner here so I can get my thing back. I don't want to go in there. Bear with me, we're getting fired up here. I should have done this before the stream. Oh, I don't even see it. Screen brush. Settings. There's usually a little icon that shows up that lets me do this kind of ghost mode thing. We might have to do without it. That would be awful though, because I really like this program. Huh. Oh, now it's stuck in screen brush mode. I've got quite the mess going on here. Yeah. It's all right. We might have to do without it. It is what it is. Anyway, let's read through this a little bit here. Oma nusitan. Nusitao. Can you say that? I don't know what that means. No. I don't know what this word means. Nistano tapagop sa peagamit. Notes topism. I don't know that particular month. Mr. He nanaskuutiin guayaski taguutiin. Kitayauanik. Atsemustojen nesims. Mr. He namiitiin ei waapatamaan. Kemassanaikan Mr. He. Mamtneetiin. Kane. Niskansis, I don't know that word. Migoyak. Mantumina. Peaguao. Tawapataya kititaman. Wawi putz. Kis. I'm not sure. Looking at this one, what that is. Kisostatin. Nesims kia. Kititan. Missippisu. He's writing. He's got two different types of writing here. Missippisis nia atimga mega. Probably good reason. There's probably a good reason I didn't try to read this before. Espike Mr. He. Agosuak. Awasak. Uts. Utsututagik. Atauya namauyak. Osam. Yeah. Atauya ewe kapsis. Mimi. I don't know what this is. Weya sanan. Exi ese kisketa kota. Oh, this must be a community name or something. Kiskim Mamatik or something. Gayayak. Eximina. Namesqua. I think that's what he has here. Namesqua. Moitisqua. Namesqua. Never really heard that before, but. Can't quite make that one out. Something, Mina, Namesqua, Pauhiganan, Mr. He. No, I don't know that word. Uta, Gimisimis Bun, I'm guessing it's saying it snowed a lot. Beaki Sagao, Mr. He. Amos spoke. How Nasims. Next page. Ego ka. Pe hamat. Pe hamatan. I don't know. This is tricky. Namauia. Negatina. Ha. Negatina. Hein. Guayask. Something Uma. Hey, Cameron. I just thought while we're warming up here, I was going to try and read this letter from somebody. I don't know who wrote this, or if this is out of one of the notebooks that has. I don't think this is the same letter because the words aren't the same. I just thought I'd see if I could read through this, but I think it's going to take a little bit more study. Because this started out with Oma Kia Nito Tame something something, and this letter does not start like that. It starts differently. That's okay. Just curiosity. Just all right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our story here. That was fun. That was fun. We got a couple features we're going to be launching this week for transcribe. If you're following along on that whole adventure. And we've got, I've added some buttons. Boy, I wish I could get Screen Brush working. That's really annoying. Wonder why it's being like that. Oh well. Down in this general area, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Above the region list, anyway, you can add some buttons in that let you navigate between regions. So you can just click it once and go to the very last region, the end of the transcription easily. That was one. And then some other improvements we're working on is sometimes when there's analysis comes back, sometimes when analysis comes back, then you can pick which analysis, because like say isse or esa. Esa can mean like apparently, esa. Or it can also be a clam, right? And so we don't want it to, we don't want to mark it as the wrong one. So Erica says we need some toys of the young ones, like a book where you press a button and it will say it in Cree. I agree a lot with that. We need a lot of, just need more kid stuff in general, like kids shows, immersive stuff, Sesame Street, games, TV shows would be great. I think a lot about TV shows, because a book is good or something, you press a button and play a sound. But then if the kids go back and they're watching YouTube or Netflix or kids shows in English, then it's like the ratio of English to language they're getting, the English to Nehiwewan ratio is like, for me, what we need to do is offset that. If they're getting a lot of English, we're in English immersion all the time, basically all the time, unless you live in a home where people speak the language. But even then, sometimes like your TV's in English, there are a few radio stations that we just need more content in the language. But I agree, especially at the kids level, 100%. A lot of the work that I focus on is geared more towards adult learners. I just need to check my streaming here. That seems to be good. I wonder if I switch networks right now. Let me know if that wrecked anything. Might drop off for just a second. Seems to be okay. Oh. Lost my iPad. Shoot. Disqua. Not display brightness. Displays. Let me try this again. Okay, come on. Just double check that my stream is still up here. Tisqua. Seems okay. I forgot to switch networks before. And now, there we go. Okay, technical difficulties averted. Let's do some transcribing. Ms. Rachel style, but a Cree version. I'm not familiar with Ms. Rachel. Is it like a TV show? Oh, I see, yeah. Like, even just, honestly, we just need more kid shows. We just do. Okay, let's do some transcribing here. I'm scrolling all the way to the end. I'm adding a button this week that'll fix this problem. It'll let you just click it and go right to the end. Let's go back. We are almost 52 minutes into this transcription, which is amazing, by the way. 52 minutes. Even if you say 30 minutes per minute, which is pretty good, all things considered. When I started out transcribing, I would transcribe at about an hour per minute, but I think we're maybe down to about 30 minutes per minute. So this is still like 25 hours, or roughly over 20. We have more than 20 hours into this transcription. So let's go back about a minute and a bit. Let's go back to about 50 minutes. And we'll just get caught up on where this story's at here. Start about here.
Så ne saahan ta huia oigi pia goga pauta ui kaskoksein. Ko tagagan gi ka kasotik. Paka kaminek ta ka gi wiche hoe tau pia si oa sa sekuspi.
Thunderchild, eh?
Ja. Eu ko paka kamana ka gi tatoma. Ekta Igat kapegi se gi ni potman ki pas ranan. Kagitahkona. Kawapamatkas teoese tahekse itasna moatman. Mina uiste paskisugut. Itahtoes kagitato he wichikimauahuhe.
So you can see there's a bunch of these that I haven't flagged if they're still in black, or usually I'll go through. I know like Eogo, for whatever reason, the spell checker doesn't like that one. But I'll just, we're still on the first pass, so we'll do like a second pass of the transcription eventually and go back and flag every single word. Or like sometimes after you go back at the end of a transcription, if you go back to the beginning and listen to it again, you pick out a lot of things that I missed or whatever. I was listening to one transcription that we done a while ago. Somebody else had actually worked on the other day, and I went back and with better ears, I'll say, could pick out a lot more stuff that we missed back then or just didn't hear correctly. Anyway, we'll keep going here.
Ego na nakaitehta man piisio asas man nakagisihkateht. Ego nehe sakagitat. Ahau. Metonintat nestoka paveno muuta voitte mai. Mahteego pe miskotista mauen kieptama. Hatsio giuta pe kanoihtsike.
That's it's interesting. The level of familiarity I have with Wes's style of speech at this point. I said, as a learner, it'd be tempting to say kiapitama, but he says those two words blend together. Kiaptama. Just same with exiptama. It's just the way he says it, right? That level of fluency that we're looking for as learners.
Hatsio nigan toaste sinenia. Sa tapoja ne huia gimiskutega povista maatan. Maga paamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta kektohesa oskiniku. Ekuats ewitsiho ento paiuehtoma. Ntonegi nene kamsete sanu oskiniku. Nia ektahan tauni ponegi.
All right, so that's where we are. So this is the one we left off on, so I'm going to shorten it up a bit and we'll tackle the first little bit first instead of the whole thing in one go, if that makes sense.
Oh,
how did I end up there? Oh, what happened? I didn't have that one selected. Tisqua. Let me get back to the end here. Back to the end. Okay, there we go. This one.
Nia ektahan tauni ponegi tuete samtune pe hoi. Nia ektahan tauni ponegi tuete samtune pe hoi.
Tauni pauin.
Nia ektahan tauni ponegi tuete samtune pe hoi.
Egi tuetisa. So, and this is Yeah. Usually just slide that over a bit, and then we'll grab the next little bit here.
Samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta tektahan me samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta tektahan me ni po te
E wai wi pahtat, is he going to say? E wai o wi pahtat.
samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta
Oh, it was a false
tektahan me
start.
ni po te samtune pe oipa epe pas
E pe wai o wi pa, but then I think he changed his mind about what he wanted to say there. Let me back that up a tiny bit.
Ki toi te samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta tektahan me
Pe
ni
pasagopahtat. That's a cool word. Pasagopahtat. He like jumped up to a run, I guess you'd say. You say pe pasagopahtat.
Ki toi te samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta
Yeah.
tektahan me ni
Pe pasagopahtat. I think that's a long O. Pasagopahtat.
Ki toi te samtune pe oipa epe pasigopa ta tektahan me ni
Egota anma. All right, let's grab some more of this.
pasigopa ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te
E ni pawit.
pasigopa ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te
E we matse pas is gonna shoot him. E we matse. We had trouble with this word last time. Pas. Let me hear it again.
ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te waset ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te waset
Pas geswat. Anne.
ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te waset
Oh, he gasket deo I it. I wonder if it's just well, let me hear the next little part there.
pas so to he gas te waset se magi se gimsot
Gasket deo. Christine says he said W. He's saying he's shooting, yeah. Gasket deo I it. Gasket deo I Gasket deo I it. Let me listen to that whole thing in one, as Ruben would say, all in one breath.
Nia ektahan tau ni po ne ki toi te samtune pe oipa e pe pasigopa ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas so to he gas te waset
All right, let's grab the next chunk.
se magi se gimsot se magi ekta kin paha se magi se gimsot se magi ekta kin paha
He was wounded. I don't think it's a missut. How's that again? Wounded. Miswo is the verb. Jisqua. It's it's not miswat. It's that other one. Jisqua. This one here. Okay, yeah. This one. Egimsut.
se magi se gimsot se magi ekta kin paha
He killed him right there. Nipahau. Yep. All right. Christine says he's shooting the Blackfoot he's talking about. He killed him right there. But I think it was let me just back up. Oh, Skinny Goo. He was killed. Yeah, okay. Just trying to. One of the hard things as a learner is getting straight who's talking about, or like who, the directionality of the action, if that makes sense.
Namo e o tō pawamet. Namo im stahigi koe nawaim ko te o taya.
Tisqua.
Namo e o tō pawamet. Namo e o tō pawamet.
Opawamet. That's an interesting word. Opawamet.
Namo e o tō pawamet.
I don't think that's the I'm sure that's the right word. What's the next part?
Namo e o tō pawamet. Namo im stahigi koe nawaim ko te o taya.
Mr. Higgy, I think he said. Just shorten that. Listen to the second part.
Namo im stahigi koe nawaim ko te o taya.
Gonna weigh him good. What's that last word?
Namo im stahigi koe nawaim ko te o taya.
Eutayat. Interesting. It's one of those contexts where it's like, I know all those words, except that one, opawamit, eopawamit. I have to think about that for a minute. That's okay. We'll keep going. I never let the fact that I don't I never let the fact that I don't fully understand what he's saying, just try not to get stuck on it. We'll just keep going.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut. He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe. He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut.
And now what sounds like na o kutak ugimao.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni
Egwa.
paut.
Kutak ugimao. That's what I'm hearing. Nipawit.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut.
There's more to that word ogimao.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut.
Nipawit. Kutak. I don't think that's long. Kutak. Oh yeah, I think we just had a. I think that's what I'm hearing. Ego te isana, ego kutaka na ugimao I nipawit.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut.
Yeah, there was another chief standing. I don't understand what he's saying. I'm just trying to, again, I'm working on picking out all of the words just so I, as a learning method.
He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut. He kuta he sā ne wako taka noke mao ka gipe ni paut.
Gagi pe nipawit. Yeah.
Hoi e kua mi skoti. I ka noe te ge tōma.
Eka waits a gate. Oh my, I think he said.
Hoi e kua mi skoti. I ka noe te ge tōma.
Yeah.
Nā ngāna pīs ki pi kohoak, ki pe ka kiwewak. Nā ngāna pīs ki pi kohoak, ki pe ka kiwewak. Nā ngāna pīs ki kipi kohoak, kipe kakiwewak.
Kipi Gohuak. I think that's what I'm hearing. There's a
Naga na pis kipi kohoak, kipe kakiwewak.
Gohuak. I think that's what I'm hearing. What's that word? Oops. What does that word mean? Sometimes when I type out a word and then the spell checker picks it up and I'm like, oh, huh. Interesting.
Naga na pis kipi kohoak, kipe kakiwewak.
Kipe Kakiwewak. So they got free and went home, I guess. Just looking back at earlier parts. Again, there's bits in there I don't fully understand. That's okay. I'll just keep going. I trust. This is a part of language learning is the part of language learning that where it's just, even though I don't understand everything he's saying right now, I trust that in the future my brain will figure it out because I've looked back at things I didn't understand before and I understand them now. And so that's just the language learning process. That's how immersion works. I mean, not to say that we shouldn't study and keep diving into some of this, but I try not to get hung up on not fully understanding everything because some of those things, that understanding has to come over time. And that's just, it's like you can't force it. You can't just memorize a bunch of stuff. And then, I mean, you can memorize stuff, but in my experience, you'll still get into that place where it's like, I know all those words, but I don't know what's being said right now.
Heki achimachik manane.
Egi Atsimatsik.
Heki achimachik manane.
Yeah.
Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskini go.
There's a big word.
Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskini go. Kaginahne negam sidi. Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskini go.
Christine says, the longer you learn to speak it and learn it, it comes easy. Yeah, I definitely find that just by listening a lot. Instead of turning on YouTube or some other thing, I'll just replay something in the language. And again, it's when you don't understand, if you're just starting out language learning, just to sit and listen to a language for a long time where you don't understand anything is really hard. It's actually really challenging. The only thing, it's similarly challenging to like trying to have a conversation, two people trying to have a conversation in a language where they don't understand each other. It's difficult. But as the pieces fall into place and I get to a place where my comprehension is high enough that I understand most of what's going on, it definitely gets easier. But there's still some questions. Like there's some stories from Wes I've listened to 5 or 6 times, and there's parts in there where it's like, I just don't know what he's saying. I just don't understand it. And it's the phrasing, right? I was looking back at that one, this one here. There's a lot going on in this particular particular section.
Namo e o to pawamit. Namo im stagi go namoim go te o chaya.
Why did he use it's in there twice? Mozo bua mit. Well, that part I don't understand. Moimistigi he didn't have a lot to look after, or they didn't have a lot to. Yeah, it's like I don't fully understand what that means. I mean, I understand, again, as a learner, in this context, it usually means like with or because. But yeah, there's just a lot in that whole section right there. It's like, I have to think about it for a bit. He did not have did not have a being to protect him. Okay, that makes sense. What does the Moimista Higigwe in this context mean? Like, Mista Higigwe, I understand, is like, does the Mista Higigwe in relation to the Iopoa Amit didn't have a lot, yeah. See, that's kind of what I thought. To look after him. He didn't have it. He didn't have a lot to look after him. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, thank you for that, Marie. Miasin. Christine Kista, kanaskum tanawa. Tapui. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Whoops. So, Marie, you said this one was, they used to speak about them, how the young men were difficult. Negam.
Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskinigua. Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskinigua.
See it, igok.
Kaginahne negam sidi go kuskinigua.
Negamsu, is that a word? It doesn't like this because there's so much reduplication in there. That's okay. I'll just mark it. Nenegamsit, iegok, uskanigua, yeah.
Ei wahna moeksi kagisi waskawitut. Ei wahna moeksi kagisi waskawitut. Ei wahna moeksi kagisi waskawitut.
Let's grab a little bit more of that.
Ei wahna moeksi kagisi waskawitut. Kagisi waskawitut tahkigoi.
That was a false start.
Ei wahna moeksi kagisi waskawitut. Kagisi waskawitut tahkigoi.
Kagis waskawito tak. Kigwe. I wonder if waskawi. No, they don't have that listed as a preverb. Because otherwise we could do that and it would make sense. But actually, I think he means this anyway. So Marie says, and that wasn't the way to move to go home, Chris says. I'm going to flag this one. I think I have this one in there anyway, but that's next chunk.
Oskinigo. Pitamagi rakkoi saaponsto tahgoma. Oskinigo. Pitamagi rakkoi saaponsto tahgoma.
Kakoin saponsto tak.
skinigo. Pita magiga koe sa ponsto tahgoma.
Yeah.
Tan soma ispihtehtaa konigoma.
Ispi de da guaniyik uma, I think you said. Ispi de, oh, there's a long I in there. Ispi de da guaniyik uma, I think that's what I heard.
Tan soma ispihtehtaa konigoma.
Interesting. Interesting. Marie says it was required that they fully understood how revered it was. Huh. Interesting. Again, this is that like higher conceptual language. Whenever it's a story, I find I understand like story language, physical movement and stuff like it. Not that it's like a lower level language or whatever. It's just more like action-based stuff I understand really well. When he gets into more like conceptual stuff, then I struggle a lot more.
Itahkap mui tihuet. Itahkap mui tihuet.
Itahkap.
Itahkap mui tihuet. Itahkap mui tihuet.
Bim.
Itahkap mui tihuet.
I think that's what I'm hearing. But I think it's actually this. We've established that before. No, who will? No, what is this? All right, I'll just flag it for now.
Minä tanssi kikap maisi vaskavitota peahtik. Minä tanssi kikap maisi vaskavitota peahtik.
I think that's what I'm hearing.
Minä tanssi kikap maisi vaskavitota peahtik.
Ai isse.
Minä tanssi kikap maisi vaskavitota peahtik.
Am I spelling peahtik wrong? Nope. Oh, I guess it could go either way. That's always helpful when they decide that there's two ways to spell something. That one doesn't analyze that. That's fine. We'll just flag it. It's fine. It's fine. And this is the same as that other one. Yeah. Yeah. Top way higher vocabulary, Marie says. That's right. Where he was helping along and how his movements ought to be careful. I'm going to enjoy going back, and something I haven't done is go back and watch my own lives. And some of these guys is in the moment. It's so interesting doing the live streaming thing. But in the moment, I'm so focused on so many things going on. But what I ought to do is go back and watch my own lives and watch these conversations, because Marie, when you come in or other fluent speakers come in and are like helping work through these, the translation, the interpretations or whatever. And I don't always feel like it's sticking with me because I'm caught up in trying to run all of this stuff. So I think I'm going to start doing that. Go back and watch my own live streams.
Mage sana kiipegi oake tehohtse.
Mage sana.
Mage sana kiipegi oake tehohtse.
Kipegiwewak ego tahutse came home from there. Giwewak ego tahutse. I think that's what I heard.
Mage sana kipe kiwa ke te hohte.
Écoutez. Oh. I don't know why I made that long O. It's interesting that, yeah, is what it is.
Mina kipe waino tikewak.
B, Y and O is like to go back. Y and O, like, would you say backwards? Turning back, returning.
Mina kipe waino tikewak.
Y and O to go. Is that what the word? Huh. I think that's what I'm hearing. Marie says, however, they went home from there and brought home some stuff.
Mina kipe waino tikewak. Mina kipe waino tikewak.
Y and O to go. Brought back with them. I just don't know the word. I'm assuming that's it. Y and O to go. Y and O to go. Interesting. Y and O to go. Marie says, yep. Okay. Thank you.
Instamanta kagi pia kuttun kagi pimsigi ehtahat. Instamanta kagi pia kuttun kagi pimsigi ehtahat.
Kagi pea gut. Kagi.
Instamanta kagi pia kuttun kagi pimsigi ehtahat. Instamanta kagi pia kuttun kagi pimsigi ehtahat.
Misigi hat. It sounds like the first one there was alone and brought home a lot. Kipe, kagipe, hat, I think he said. Marie says initially he was alone when he brought home many.
Misatema iega kagi wapa tihui tukse watson.
That's what I was waiting for. We hadn't heard the whole thing. Brought home many horses.
Misatema iega kagi wapa tihui tukse watson. Misatema iega kagi wapa tihui tukse watson.
Wapa.
Misatema iega kagi wapa tihui tukse watson.
Wapa. Huit. I don't know that word. Wapate huel. Shows it to someone. Huh. What's the difference between that and wapate huel? Are those generally the same? Or is wapate huel? Marie says, many horses that he showed immensely his generosity. Oh, is that implied? That's interesting.
Misatema iega kagi.
Oh, I gotta reload. Disqua.
Misatema iega kagi wapa tihui tukse watson.
Kisuatsun. Kiseuatis. Come on. Tisuin. What's at the end of that?
Misatema iega kagiwapa tihuetukse watson tono.
Metoni. But I'm just going to see if I can get this to. This one should analyze fine. Wapate hui. Wapate huite. Should be fine. It's wapate huite. Yeah. Let's mark that one as a spell checker issue.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn. Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
I think he's saying just go.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
I gotta slow that down.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
Ka kitse kita mags.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
Kita magsa is what I'm hearing. But I don't understand this word in the middle. Demagsa. I wonder if you can say that about a person. Oh, Ogitamagsa. All right, with that new knowledge, let me listen to it again. Because there's something in there. Gite. Is he saying Gite in there?
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
We'll grab some more of that in a second and finish it off. I just want to hear that one more time.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
Mitanohe kagite. Kagite. Oh, gite. That's a word. No. What does it mean? What does it mean, Marie? Yeah, it sounds like kagite. 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 Yeah, it's not that. I'll flag it and I'll ask Wes what it is. Sounds like gagite.
Tono hikakehtikite maksaho hekagipn.
Let's grab the last little bit of that. Could be gite. Gagite get the magsak. Like, that's what I thought originally when I heard it. You know, that happens a lot in the most prominently unfortunate. How would you phrase that? That's what I thought it was to begin with. I'm gonna leave it like this and I'll leave it here. Then I can get clarification from Wes. Let's just grab this last chunk here.
Matonamoatohe.
Matenamoatohe. I don't know that word either. Let's go find it. He portioned it out to them. Basically handed out horses. Handed out stuff to them, I guess. I think you're right, Marie. Kagite get the magsa. I think you're right. Gagite would be like that. Gagite. All right, let me fix that.
Dono hika ke chikite maksa ho he kagi mato na moato he.
Yeah. Mahte na muato he.
Kagi piho tato makanto paiuet.
Pihku taat.
Kagi piho tato makanto paiuet.
That he'd earned, is that the right way to say that?
Kagi piho tato makanto paiuet. Kagi piho tato makanto paiuet.
Kanto paiwit. Nato payu. How am I suddenly spelling this wrong now? Nato payu. That's what I'm hearing. He keeps saying this form over and over again, and I'm like, what is that? I think this first one, let me go check here. No. Is it long, short? No, that'd be to break something. Biko, short I. And we'll try it like this. See, I was thinking more along the lines of like accomplished, that he had, this one, that he had earned. Biko Tao, this one here. I think that's what it was. Biko Tao. Gagi Biko Tat, yeah. Accomplished is what I understand it as. But this one here, when he was scouting, but it's like, we talked about this last time. I don't understand this. If it was specifically when he'd gone scouting, then wouldn't it be Ganantopayit? But that's not what he's saying.
Kagi piho tato makanto paiuet.
And Ganantopayuit. So I need to figure out this particular, and I think we figured maybe it was this Ganantopayit, but he's definitely saying it this way. So I think it's a variation of that other person. So I'm just going to flag it.
Yksaan ma tapto.
Hexan matapto. Let's make that a little longer.
Yksaan ma tapto. Eki wa pahti haata isinoa.
He showed it to the tapto is like every tapto, every time, everything, continually. Tapto. Iwapate hat. Isinoa.
Yksaan ma tapto. Eki wa pahti haata isinoa. Ei sikihcheimaat, ei sikittimaakiimaat. Ei sikihcheimaat, ei sikittimaakiimaat.
Yes, get the maageemat, I think he said.
Ei sikihcheimaat, ei sikittimaakiimaat.
I remember when I first started out transcribing, that little that ase would throw me off. Just kind of like gap. It's like, what is that? It took a long time to figure that out. It was like Neil that tipped us off to that one. All right. 53 and a half minutes.
E ko hei sekatski, tat ki koe ki spun kau get. E ko hei sekatski, tat ki koe ki spun kau get.
Kigwai.
E ko hei sekatski, tat ki koe ki spun kau get.
Actually, I'm hearing Kigwai. Otenegio. Marie says he showed them his reverence for their being and his heartfelt kindness for them. I always love your interpretations. It's just like so much deeper than my just my basic understanding. To take things away or receive something, I guess. The things that you get from there. Actually, it's this one. To get something from there. Ohtengate. Yeah. Ohtengate.
E ko hei sekatski, tat ki koe ki spun kau get.
Ohtengate, yeah. And his ability to take something from his giving. Huh. Huh. I'm going to sit and think about that for a second. This is one of those instances where I talk about this a lot. Last time we talked about Gagi, remember?
Ka ki piho tato makanto paiwe.
And whether that Gagi, if that puts it at a specific point in time or like what, we talked about that a lot. And then Ga, and this is one of the most challenging things to learn, to figure out as a learner, is like Gagi and Ga. And then here,
E kusaan matapto. E ki wapa.
Agi, then he didn't say Ga or Gagi, he says Agi, so now this is different. And this is like, okay, I'll just keep going, right?
E siki che.
And then he didn't use gi in here at all. It's like, okay, so it's just like talking about his state of being. The way he was, is that like to think highly of people or to be, let's look this up. Respect, think highly of, yeah. Get the mage the way he took care of them, right?
E ko hei sekatski, tat.
And the way he succeeded. But then what you said, his ability to take something from his giving, and I'm like, segaski tahki gue. Kispengau Dingate. And you interpreted that as his ability to take something from his giving. And I'm like, it's not the meaning of the words, it's the meaning of the phrase in a whole that I'm like piecing together in my brain right now. I'm going to move on because I'm in that place where my brain hurts a little bit. I feel like I'm unlocking something. I feel like my brain is building understanding for me right now. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to dwell on it too long. Yeah, because that whole ga, gi, gi, and the way that they're used in combination with things to inform the meaning of what it is that you're saying, it takes a long time to start to understand that stuff. And I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Apo nuten to nekoma. Ka ki pea ko ka. Apo nuten to nekoma. Ka ki pea ko ka paut. Apo nuten ton ekoma. Kagi peako kapaut.
Kagi peagogapwit. Kagi peagogapwit. Peagogapu. There's lots of these. Peagogapowit. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Gapowit. Kagi peagogapowit. Stand alone. Like in this battle, he stood alone. Interesting.
Mutta naana mistä heukaa naan migi tagihtek. Mutta naana mistä heukaa naan migi tagihtek. Mutta naana mistä heukaa naan migi tagihtek.
Ananma, is that what I'm hearing?
Mutta naana mistä heukaa naan migi tagihtek.
Ittagihtik. And that was would you say like thought highly of again? He was thought highly of for that? So much that it was worth. Oh, Marie says, like in the battle he stood alone, so much that it was worth. Oh, there must be more to this.
Oki maa nahte keisi. Kikap maisi naa tiusta. Oki maa nahte keisi. Kikap maisi naa tiusta.
This word here, etekese, okimanak, is like the chief's place, a place of leadership, the realm of chieftainship. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oki maa nahte keisi. Kikap maisi naa tiusta.
Nazi.
Oki maa nahte keisi. Kikap maisi naa tiusta.
Nazi ista. I think I'm spelling that wrong, and there was an isse in there. Nazi. Just learning this word. That's an O. Okay, come on. Nazi. Nazi stock. Pretty sure it's that one. But let me listen to it one more time.
Oki maa nahte keisi. Kikap maisi naa tiusta.
Nazi stock. Advancing towards chieftainship, would you say? I don't know if I'm spelling that right. Actually, let's check this one. No, it doesn't even know what that is. That's okay. Keep going. Just keep going.
Taapskuutu himsate mahkaa peiki wehtahat. Taapskuutua himsate mahkaapiki wehtahat.
Natsiustam kagip misnatsiusta. And you interpret that, Marie, as like, okay, that's interesting. Yearned for. I guess directly the dictionary says like he was creeping towards it. But yeah, that's an interesting interpretation that he yearned for.
Taapskuutua himsate mahkaapiki wehtahat.
Gagipe.
Taapskuutua himsate mahkaapiki wehtahat.
Gapegiwehtahat. Marie says that he sought after. Yeah, interesting.
Mistaheektahegiuhtun geechigokka geoisino. Mistaheektahegiuhtun geechigokka geoisino. Mistaheektahegiuhtun geechigokka geoisino.
I seen wak.
Pamehune tehis.
Ite keese, I think he said. Did he say that again?
Pamehune tehis. Pamehune tehis.
Towards a place of prosperity, would you say that? Oh, much was received by all these people in gratitude. Huh. Interesting. Bamme. Come on. That's interesting. Interesting.
Mina kanto kan
Now we're going to need more of that.
Mina kanto kan topai wehtoma.
There's that word again. Na, do, by, you, we, oma. Does that just mean like just when they went scouting, when there was a raid? It's like, it strikes me as this, it strikes me as just like a variation of the X actor form. We talked about this last week. Nanto Bayui. It strikes me as a variation of this, which, you know, they keep adding more to this list, so it probably is, because there weren't 5 of these before. Yeah. And Marie, the thing that I'm struggling with is this form, wheat. Like I'm not familiar with it. I know the word, just like how would you interpret that? In search of or hunting for. And it's like unspecific, right? It's just like when there was a search or a hunt. It's unspecific or just kind of in general. Does that make sense? Oh, and I missed a one. Oh, atamihuin. Oh, yeah, okay, in general. So I think that's right. Sorry, I'm going to back up to that other word because I see what you're saying. Atamihuin. Atamihuin. I heard it wrong. Okay. Let me flag this. I'm just going to flag all of these because these ones is an indexing issue. This one.
Pamehune tehis. 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 Pamehune
Atamehuani.
Pamehune te keis.
Oh, it's so... I'm actually going to change this one because I can't quite tell.
Pamehune te keis.
Because if I'm listening and expecting Pamehuani, I'm hearing it. But if I listen to Tamehuani, I'm hearing that also. So I can actually ask for clarification.
Eku te mana mina.
A little softball there.
Eku te mana mina. Ton kagi sohkei ta kagi sohkei mot.
Metone ka sogeta.
Ton kagi sohkei ta kagi sohkei mot. Ton kagi sohkei ta kagi sohkei mot.
So geyimut. Realm of gratitude. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So much so that he was determined and his perseverance. Oh man, it just breaks my brain whenever I was like, again, I'm in that place where I'm like, I understand those words, trying to interpret, but then there's all of this. It's interesting how like the particles, mana, mina, mitane, like mitane, I think I understand. But sometimes when I hear your interpretation, it's just like, oh, it hurts my brain. Yeah. Oh, tanse, Neil, tago, teo, biisk. All right, let's keep going.
E mamsito tawa ato he. O pawama. E mamsito tawa ato he. O pawama.
Opamo.
E mamsito tawa ato he. O pawama.
Opawama. I don't understand that word. I was thinking dream. He relied on his protecting spirit. Mamsitu. Yeah. Interesting. Actually, I'm gonna flag this one. His dream spirit.
O he. Ata johkana he sisigi koe ka gipim kak te maagimgut.
Atayukana. Oh, let's just look it up. Oh, they're both long. A and the O. I would have been at that for another minute for sure.
O he. Ata johkana he sisigi koe ka gipim kak te maagimgut.
Exisegigwe.
O he. Ata johkana he sisigi koe ka gipim kak te maagimgut.
Gagipm.
O he. Ata johkana he sisigi koe ka gipim kak te maagimgut.
They're taking care of him. This looks like a cough.
Iska puhpuko. Iska puhpuko.
Aisk po pogo, is that what he's saying? Or is there a word? Skapo.
Iska puhpuko.
Aiskapo pogo. I think that's what I'm hearing.
Piego hikagi upama opawamet. Piego hikagi upama opawamet.
Hey, I didn't even notice we're 54 and a half minutes here.
Sakimewa.
Oh,
Kite
yeah.
bagim gut. Egi wichi gut.
That's where we are.
Sakimewa. Egi kite bagim gut. Egi wichi gut.
He's going to talk about feeding the mosquitoes.
Sakimewa. Egi kite bagim gut. Egi wichi gut. Eko semana tahtaa skioma. Egin toa petnanto.
Tahtuau ski mana. Tahtuau. Tahtuau. Come on.
Eko semana tahtaa skioma. Egin toa petnanto.
That's one word. Tahtuavski. Right? Or not. That's okay.
Eko semana tahtaa skioma. Egin toa petnanto.
In that context, would Nanto be for like a bit? And it happened that he would go and sit, somewhere. Nanto, somewhere. Okay. Thank you.
Ekte heke chikuna homa. Utaiwins. Ema mostapet.
He sat naked.
Ekte heke chikuna homa. Utaiwins. Ema
Keitse
mostapet.
kona uma.
Ekte heke chikuna homa. Utaiwins. Ema mostapet.
Mostapit. I'm trying to find this word. Keitsigona. I just need the Utaiwinsa. Ayuwinsa. No, that one's right. Mustapit. Sat naked. Mustapit. On the ground. Mustapit.
Ahau sakimeo. Ntago tan. He pena naskot taman ki sohksonua o ki mamahtau sonua o mi kokmanagapm kaktimagina uyek.
Let's break that down a little bit.
He pena naskot taman ki sohksonua o ki mamahtau. He pena naskot taman ki sohksonua o ki mamahtau. Sonua o ki mamahtau sonua o mi kokmanagapm.
Oh, wow. That's what I was missing. Kisuksunuao.
Ki sohksonua o ki mamahtau sonua o mi kokman.
What's in between there? Mamatao suinuao. Does he say oge in there? That's a big word with a lot of W's. Matao suinuao. Oma. He says oh, but I think he means oma. I wonder. Mama tau sunuao. There's a long A in there, probably is why that's not. Yeah, mama tau sunuao. Right there. Let's hear a little bit more of that. Get the ma genau yake, I think is what I'm hearing. Ga get the ma genau yake. Let me hear those. Ruben would say, all in one breath. I'm not hearing oge. I'm hearing oge in there. One more time. The ma. That last word I have wrong. Ga get the ma genau yake. There's just that one that sounds like right in here. It sounds like he's saying oge. I'm just gonna slow it down. I just want to hear it and see if I'm just hearing it funny. He just says oh. And I wonder if it's just like a, I don't know if you call it a false start or something. I don't know. Marie says, I am here in gratitude for your strength, your spiritual being, so much that you have showed me your kindness. Omigo. Omigo. Hold on, let me hear that one more time. Yeah, Neil. Yeah, it is the ge at the start of the next word, but there's an O in there, right? Let me slow it down again. Slow it down a bit more. One more time. Omegok. Yeah. Mana. Gi egipe mitsutsik. Mitsutsik. Unless you're from northern Alberta, then you would say Mitsotwao. And some parts of Saskatchewan too, I think. Yeah. So then the mosquitoes would feast.
Maaga mistä he sohkesuinek tai he kiuhtnakkan.
So kissuin.
Maaga mistä he sohkesuinek tai he kiuhtnakkan.
Huh.
Maaga mistä he sohkesuinek tai he kiuhtnakkan.
Egiotanak. And short A. Huh. And you got a lot of strength from there, I guess, eh? So I wonder if you could say, that'd be something, eh? Go feed the mosquitoes and just. I had a friend who did that once, went out fasting, and for some reason, I don't know why, but she didn't fast in a lodge. Not that it would have made any difference, but that year, for whatever reason, out at the lake, the mosquitoes were so bad that year. They were so bad. And of course, you don't kill anything. So then it was just like, it was so bad. Had so many welts on her face and her hands. She tried so hard. We could bring out a little net and stuff to try and keep the mosquitoes off her. It was awful. Feeding the mosquitoes.
Ego hanna moi pogego ne kagi o pawame. Ego hanna moi pogego ne kagi o pawame.
Ego ne pogo? No.
Ego hanna moi pogego ne kagi o pawame.
Oh, I see. But those weren't the dream spirit. That wasn't the dream spirit, I guess.
Kuttagahmina. Egi sohki siitä pawame.
Mina.
Kuttagahmina. Egi sohki siitä pawame.
Sukisit. I don't know why these ones have. Wow, did I have a little my live stream dropped out for some reason on Facebook. Seems like YouTube is still fine. Yeah, so we just is what it is, I guess. Marie says there were other protective spirits that were strong that were there for him.
Amtanemise sohkia tsibona hohika ta siitä maata. Amtanemise sohkia tsibona. Amtanemise sohkia tsibona hohika ta siitä maata.
Sounds like messe soke atsamona. Is that what I'm hearing?
Amtanemise sohkia tsibona hohika ta siitä maata.
Dasitamatan. That I'm discussing with you. Discussing at you. Dasitam. Yep. Dasi, long I. Yep, long I. Dasitamatan. I have to flag this. These are very powerful stories, I guess you'd say. Releasing to you. Okay. Yeah.
Speak I see new. Always not bill.
Are you seeing new?
Speak I seen you. Always na peo. Egi na pehkasot.
What is wawis? Especially. I think that was
Speak I seen you. Always na peo. Egi na pehkasot. Ego tan semagan magaisen stohtama. Ano tsego na pehkasoen.
Marie says, at that point, a human, especially a man that was brave,
Ego tan semagan magaisen stohtama. Ano tsego na pehkasoen. Ego tan semagan magaisen stohtama. Ano tsego na pehkasoen. Ego tan semagan magaisen stohtama. Ano tsego na pehkasoen. Ego tan semagan magaisen stohtama. Ano tsego na pehkasoen.
and how do we even understand that today? Nape gasuin. Brevity or courage, Marie says.
Namo eo te pea goimsot. Namo eo te sasaksit. Namo eo te pea goimsot. Namo eo te sasaksit.
Bea Guimsut. Bea Guimsut. Selfishness. Bea Guimisut. That's interesting.
Namo eo te pea goimsot. Namo eo te sasaksit.
Sasagsit. Stinginess, selfishness. Oh, there, Sasagsiu. There it is. Or hoarding, maybe Marie says.
Namo eo te gustata waki koe. Maaga.
Maga. Gustata guac. I see. I should have known by that K ending. Gustate guac. Gustate guac. Yep. There was no fear, but, Marie says,
O tāpoa ke tamo e negi wā pahteat. O tāpoa ke tamo e negi wā pahteat.
Tapua gay damoin. Tapua gata. I found this word the other day. Oa gata. tapoagitamuin. Their faith, I guess you'd say. Itamuin, that should work.
O tāpua ki tamu e ne ki wā pāteat.
He'd shown them his faith, I guess. His beliefs is what he'd shown them. Wapa.
O tāpua ki tamu e ne ki wā pāteat.
He used oats as the preverb. Hold on, let me go back to that one.
Namo e o te pia goimsot. Namo e o te sasaksit.
Thanks for that, Neil. Yeah.
Namo e o te pia goimsot. Namo e o te sasaksit.
I think it's probably the same for that one. Yoch Sagasit. It's hard to tell sometimes.
O tāpua ki tamu e ne ki wā pāteat. Namo e pu tāpua ki tamu e ka ki wā pāteat māma o tāu i māo. Namo e pu tāpua ki tamu e ka ki wā pāteat māma o tāu i māo.
Mamo. Mamu Taui Mawa. What if I'm spelling that right?
Namo e pu tāpua ki tamu e ka ki wā pāteat māma o tāu i māo.
Let's go find out. Oh, right, those are on backwards, obviously. Mamu Taui Mawa. Oh, Taui Mawa. Yeah, I think I just had the A is wrong. Yeah. Same issue with that one. His total faith is what he showed our Creator, says Marie. Cool. That's really interesting. Moi pogo. There's no... I interpreted that as it wasn't only his faith that he showed the Creator. I think there's more to this. Is the way my brain interprets that.
Magu waskau ne ke ginu go tatoma. Magu waskau ne ke ginu go tatoma. Magu waskau ne ke ginu go tatoma.
Hey, Mananto. Super. The best name. The best TikTok name. But in his movements, he showed this. Owaskowi.
Magu waskau ne ke ginu go tatoma.
Wiwini. Mago waskwiwini.
Magu waskau ne ke ginu go tatoma.
No go tatoma. That turned blue and I'm like, glad I heard it right. What's it mean? Showed something. No go tat. Huh. Interesting.
Tan se stapua ge ta konstor tamo ne gi pntsa. Tan se stapua ge ta konstor tamo ne gi pntsa.
Unsto tamuin.
Tan se stapua ge ta konstor tamo ne gi pntsa.
Egi bimitissahat. A mitsahat. Same, it's like, yeah. It's so interesting how words in the language will influence each other to inform.
Maguaskaoin ehkä ginugu tatuma. Tanseista puolesta konstruktamoin egiptsaa.
Yeah, see, when I listen to that a second time, I'm like, my brain still doesn't fully understand. That's okay. I'm reading what Marie's writing here. But in his movements, he exemplified how he followed his understanding. Okay. How he followed his understanding. Ese tapua geeta on stotamun egi mitsahat. I must be tired because I'm having a hard time following most of this at this point. I was like, it's same things. Like I know all those words. Neil and I talk about this lots. There's that just intermediate level where it's like, I know all those words. You put them all together and I don't know what you're saying. That's okay. We just keep going. We are at 56 and a half minutes.
Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu. Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu.
E teita.
Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu.
E teita guak. It was known. It was thought of or considered such.
Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu.
Truth had found him. Was that what you said? Skagut.
Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu.
Egiskagut. Egiskagut is what I'm hearing there.
Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu. Eukomsta he egi tehtaagua. Taapuewen egiskaagua tawanaapeu.
Giskagut. Neil says his actions made that apparent. It really seemed as though he was telling the truth. He was wearing his truth. Giskagut. What's the root of that? Would be giskoil? I don't understand that word. Marie says, it was that which was considered the truth this man carried or attached. Interesting. I'm going to flag that word because giskagut. Giskagut. Giskago. Yeah, I don't know the word. Interesting. All right, let's go a little bit more. It's coming up on 8 o'clock. I got started on time tonight, so I think we'll go. Let's do right up to 57 minutes here.
Hawi nai wakko tak kagino teu toki mamia kom.
Ayawager. Awina ayuwag, I think you said.
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
Gagi. Oh, Gagi. Who else could something? Come on.
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
Who else could be war chief?
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
No do. What is the word? I gotta slow it down. It's a little bit fast.
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
Who else? Marie says, who else more so would we consider or want for our chief? Oh, yeah, sorry. Gigisko. There it is. That other word. Gigscoil. Yeah, let me go back and fix that.
Gomsta he ki tehtäagua. Tapu e wene kiskaagua tawana apeu. Hawinai wa
Every once in a while I get a comment on YouTube. Congrats on 200 subscribers. Been silently following for a while now. Would Keanu have any use for transcriptions in syllabics? That'd be up to you. You could put syllabics in there if you wanted. They would not be fully compatible with the database just yet. By the way, we're launching the database this week. I just got the pull requests, the changes through our team, through our process, and I'm going to roll them out in the morning. So the database for Nehiu and Plains Cree dialect will be available tomorrow. Syllabics is trickier because the platform is not just a Cree platform. Keanu is a platform we hope to incorporate many different languages, and we should have Odawa in the next week or so, and possibly others quite soon. The issue being how do we support syllabics in a way that like syllabics wouldn't necessarily apply to everything. So if there were other languages that had custom orthographies like syllabics, how do we support that? So that's the only reason we haven't wired that in yet. We've got to think about that a little bit more. What does that look like in terms of like some kind of plugin system, or I don't know. We haven't figured it out. But you can fully go in there and use syllabics to transcribe right now if you want to. No te, Neil says.
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
No te. Is there another T in there?
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
Otokimamuit. Otokimam. Uma. That's what I'm hearing. One more time.
Hawinai wa kutak kagino teu togi mami akom.
Otokimam. Miyakuma. But I want to hear that. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. No te otokimamiak. It's that there's that otokimam otika. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's break it down. We have ogimam, which is like our dear chief, I guess you'd say. Our dear lead, our beloved leader. Would you say that? Our beloved chief, we'll say. But then this is a noun, right? Ogimao, ogimam. Same as this. Ogimao, ogimao. Ah, worked for one character. Chief, I guess you'd say. Ogimao. But then to make this a verb, which is going to be, it's going to be a, o. So there's this construction. If you're not familiar with this construction, you can take a noun. I think we talked about this before, but you can take a, that's an easy noun, something that works well. I always use knife, mokoman. For whatever reason, mokoman, knife. But we can turn this into I have a knife. Through this process of adding O and then at the front and then oo at the end. And this takes a noun and turns it into a VAI like that. O at the front and oo at the end. So for a knife, the way we would do that is O mokoman. Oh, what did I do there? Right to the top. You can tell I'm getting tired. Typing nonsense. Omokomanu, that one has a knife. This is now a verb. VAI. Omokomanu. So that's what's happening with this. But since we have O at the beginning, we can't go O, ge, ma, mu. E o ogemamit, you have to put a T in there. E o togemamit. That's what's happening there. We have it. That one has a chief. Well, and it's okomamiak. Ogemamiak. E otogemamiak. As we have a chief, I guess you'd say. Something like that. Yeah, and now I can hear it clearly. It's like, threw me off though. It's one of those ones you just don't hear super, like you hear it, but like in that particular construction, just adds a little something there that throws things off. Tapwe mea singi seki tagosinian nia ea mananto nia kimaga. Tapwe gayas spin. Tapwe gayas.
Yksi ei tatse teis sohseto ai sinu. Yksi ei tatse teis sohseto ai sinu.
Ei tatsit. Itatsu. Like just to be in that way. Exist in that way. Oh, such a character. See, I've looked this one up before too. That was his character.
Yksi ei tatse teis sohseto ai sinu.
It is the character.
Yksi ei tatse teis sohseto ai sinu.
Ai sinu. We're almost at 57 minutes. Gonna go just a little bit more. 57 minutes is right up here.
Yksaan matapoi kagia taispaikoma.
Egstapwe.
Yksaan matapoi kagia taispaikoma.
Eksan matapwe kagi. Aisit. Aispayik, I think he said. That's the way it happened.
Yksaan matapoi kagia taispaikoma.
Aispayikoma. And that's the way, that's truly the way. That ate broke my brain. I was like, I thought I knew what he was saying there for a second. Like the way things happen, but how would you interpret that? It's like if you look it up, it's totally unhelpful in the dictionary. It's like in the process, and so it happened. It so happened. It's always one of those ones where it's like, if ate wasn't in there, how would that change the meaning? But I guess that's the reason we have to listen to it a lot.
Mina taps.
Oh, time to refresh.
Mina tapskutoma nuten tunne. Mina.
Yeah, that's right. E6 says upsis fluency. That's 100%. I got to practice more. I feel like I'm losing my fluency some days. It's really tricky. Especially if, like, I was just sitting there last night cooking supper and I was like, my brain was full. It was the end of the day. I didn't really want to do anything. And I flipped open my iPad and like put on a YouTube series that I was watching. And then I stopped and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go listen to the stories. Like, because it's the same thing. I felt like when I was spending so much time sitting and listening, it was just like was pushing my understanding further and further and further. And then I've been home for about 3 weeks and I haven't been listening as much. And then I'll listen and I feel like I'm not understanding as much. And I'm like, no, I need to get back to the place where I'm like, language really needs to be in my home every day for an hour, for a couple hours. What does that look like? What does that look like? NBC radio, something off YouTube. I need to start phoning people. Like, how do I? Because now even like 15 minutes a day for me doesn't cut it. That's not enough. And I'm just saying that not to like set unreasonable expectations or whatever. I just know that if I don't stay on top of it, then it's just because English is so prominent everywhere all the time. Our phones, our computers, the TV, Netflix, everywhere you go, it's English, right? So like, how can we how much of that can be replaced in a day with language? And it's super hard. It's super hard.
Mina tapskutoma nuten tunne. Mina.
Din no din tuini. Long O. G6 says, in my community, we got less than 30 fluent speakers. I can barely hear it now. Makes it hard. Yeah, that's super hard. Yeah. I was just chatting with, let's finish this last chunk and then I actually want to talk about this just for a few minutes before I wrap up today.
Mina tapskutoma nuten tunne. Mina.
Because my wife's, we were just at Upper Nicola on Wednesday and they started a language house over there.
Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo.
Itagagi Pim.
Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo. Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma. Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma.
I don't know that word. Segi.
Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma. Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo.
Didn't know. I don't know that word.
Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo.
Bim isse. Oh, I see. Isse. Gi we. Din. Marie says, and like war and where he brought home so much.
Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo. Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo. Itahkagi PMCQ et nawetoma igo.
I just don't know this word. I'll come back to it. There, 57 minutes.
Egipem sewicha hata isino. Egipem sewicha hata isino.
Egipim Missawitahat. Egipim Isse Witahat.
Egipem sewicha hata isino.
Yeah. We have 6 minutes left in this. Isn't that amazing? There's 6 minutes. Like, we're 57 minutes into this recording. This is remarkable. This is a remarkable amount of work. It's amazing. 611 regions here. And yeah, so we've got probably 2 more live streams on this one. 2 more live streams, I think we'll have this one finished. We can move on to the next one. Cree brain activated. Yeah. It's one of the things I keep saying I'm going to do is I'm trying to transcribe a couple of times a week. Like I'm doing Sundays. I think I want to do, at least a couple of times a week. And then in between, more passive listening. I have the list of, I went through the NBC radio and found all of the NBC on demand. By the way, I met I forget the guy's name that does all of these. He was at that gathering in Saskatoon, the Language Keepers. Where's on demand? And I forget his name now. Older fellow. He does all of the NBC radio, and he was there like broadcasting live from SICC, the gathering. It was amazing. But I'm like, I went through and I have a list of all of these stories, all of these stories that like the Cree Thursday or whatever. And actually, I wonder if we go back, be kind of cool actually. When was that? November 4th and 5th, I think. News November 4th. So I'm pretty sure he would have been in Saskatoon at this point. Anyway, every Thursday, I'm pretty sure there's like I don't see it now. There used to be. Well, there's Dene on that one. There's a whole bunch of these that have Cree, and there's some that have Michif. And like Thursdays, they used to do a story, but I have Friday Cree program Atsimwan. So these stories Atsimwan. If we look at this, it's almost an hour long. So like there's a lot of content here. Anyway, yeah, I think, Vern, maybe that's it. I met a whole bunch of people at that conference. It was awesome. But I have the list of all of these, right? So we're just talking about like getting more language into the day-to-day. We went to we went to Upper Nicola on Wednesday. They started a language house over there. And I think this is quite literally the way what they were saying was they went to leadership at Upper Nicola, Spockman, and they said, we keep saying the language is important, the language is important. So then they basically, leadership stepped in and funded them to do a language house. And what that means is that they hired instructors who have a high degree of language, because my wife's language, they have like less than 30 fluent speakers for the whole nation, like all the way, and they're scattered all over the place. There's a whole bunch of different communities that are Okanagan Salish, but between all of them, there's like 20 or some, and they're all kind of everywhere. But there are some advanced learners, and so what the language house is basically the nation has hired, I think, 6 people, 6 like intermediate-ish level learners, and their full-time job is language learning. That's their job. And then they've hired a couple of they're sort of like teachers, but they're doing a lot of stuff with elders. They're doing a lot of land-based stuff. They're making space for kids. And these are all adults. These are not children. Like these are basically the adult generation that are stepping in. And for 2 years, their full-time job for the next 2 years is just language learning. And I'm like, this is the way, in my opinion. Right? There's some things that we need to, like, if for communities that are low on fluent speakers, it's a conversation I've been having with so many people recently, is like, we can argue about spelling in 20 years. We can make more books in 20 years. We can still come up with classes in 20 years. And 20 years from now, we cannot record the fluent speakers and the elders that we've lost. Like, if we have resources now, get recording, and better yet, if you can take high beginner, low intermediate learners and have them a part of that process, the process of listening and hearing those stories and spending that time, and then start transcribing and working with your full-time job is to work with our fluent speakers, our elders, learn the language, be on the land, cook food together, heck, live together, whatever you have to do to be doing language transmission, because the kids are important. But when we don't have any fluent speakers left, the language that our young ones have, that's a lot of pressure to put on that young generation, when we'll have a generation of parents who have very little language, right? So in my opinion, we need to also be focusing on parents. How can we get language to the parent generation? So I got some comments here. Gisik says, we really need to take notes from the Maori people. They have done the work bringing back fluency. Big time. The one thing, and that's not to say that this is a disadvantage, but the Maori had, throughout all of New Zealand, I think there's some folks up at a conference, 2 young people, and they were both had really good language. One of the things is that the Maori had going for them is they have one language down there, even though they have a bunch of different dialects, like Southern dialect and different whatever. It's like, even the communities that were really hurting, they could lean heavily on neighboring dialects to bring some of that back, but they definitely have it down. Absolutely. High degree of fluency in like young people, which is amazing, and like university level. Marie says, simultaneous translation helps bridge the gap between fluent and non-fluent. I agree. Neil says the Maori have more control over their land base and their government too. Yeah. I think, man, there's so many factors. There's so many factors. That's not to say that it can't be done here. It's just that the thing that's hard to convince people of, sometimes when you talk to fluent speakers or you talk to like maybe leadership or something, it's hard to have people understand exactly how hard it is to learn an Indigenous language as a grown adult. Like, it is so hard. There's so many thousands of hours. And if people are just in survival mode, just trying to get to the end of the day, the end of the week, like sometimes I hear from older people like, oh, how do we get the young people interested in the language? It's like, they're interested, right? But they're just trying to get by right now. So the question we should be asking is, how do we create accessibility for language? How do we put language in front of people every day? And I don't want to pick on like word of the day stuff, because like word of the day I think is still important, like that introductory stuff. But how do we create accessibility around like intermediate level? And I don't 100% know the answer to this, but I always think like, have a language events or language table, like on hockey night or bingo night or any community events. Always just have a presence where people can go sit down and find resources and, talk with elders and have tea, or like whatever that looks like. What I call it fishing, where you create, that's right. We're live streaming on all of these channels, and there's 5 of us here. But it's fine, because the number of people that come in, that 1 or 2 people that watch this YouTube stream a month from now and then start asking questions, right? I call that fishing. It's like leaving nuggets for people to get them when they have a chance to get more curious about the language. And then, because it's going to be up to those people to find ways to get the language into their day, right? I can't tell you this, the way I did this is going to work for you. I can't, because every single language learner that I know that's at an intermediate level, while our journeys are similar, the real answer is that every one of those people has made it work for them in their own way, in their own life, right? Like that's really the answer. So, or in most cases, I'm catching up on comments here. Gisik says, Maori's 100% more advantaged because they were able to make it an official language. Yeah. I don't think we'll see that happen here. I wish we would. That'd be super cool. But if they did it for Nihiuiwan, then we would have, all of a sudden, we'd have 60 official languages, 60 plus, right? Marie says, recognizing that the thought processes work differently. I think that's one of the hard parts, right? Is like the different way of thinking. Yeah, there's a lot of conversation right there. Gisik, but figuring out what worked for them. I think we just need, more accessibility. And also the other thing that I want to try and convince people is that, and Gisik, you saw that some of those other, you commented on one of those other videos I did about, we don't have the time I think people think we have, right? Like, I went to this, I met this one learner from Calgary. She's learning Southern Michif, which is like, it's its own thing. And there's so few like fluent speakers of Southern Michif, which is like we call it Southern Michif, but it's like the Michif language. There's so few fluent speakers, but they're working so hard on this language. And then I went to Winnipeg to this one, to the Algonquian, the 57th Algonquian conference, and I saw a couple of young people present on a language that they're working on. They're in the States somewhere, and they haven't had fluent speakers for like 4 decades. And they're working super, super hard on this language, borrowing, looking at sister languages, looking at the proto-language, trying to fill in the gaps and build speakers and fluency. 40 years after the fact, they have no recordings, they have no fluent speakers. I'm like, it just occurred to me that it's like, with the Michif language, 40 years from now, these people will still be working on this language. And all that means for me right now is that every opportunity we have to record fluent speakers now, we've, in my opinion, we need to be doing that as much as possible. Every opportunity we have. And, we've all got, we have all of the technology we need right here. So, to the degree that we're able, go and record, even if it's just for you. Gisik says, top way accessibility. We don't got the time. Our fluent speakers are leaving. We got to get on it. I agree. 100%. I agree. Gisik, you're getting me started. It's challenging because there's some fluent speakers. There's some people are like, I don't have anything to share. I don't really know anything, right? Like they're like, I don't really have any stories or whatever. And then just trying to convince them is like, no, just tell me what you did last week. Like you walked your dog, you went to the store, like whatever it is. Just, I'm sure you have stories about your childhood, or you have stories about your siblings or your parents or whatever, right? Gisik says some fluent speakers just want to keep it. Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen fluent speakers talk about the language, how important the language is, how there's words for all of these things. There's words, there's a word for that, there's a word for this, but then they never say the word. And I'm like, what's the word? Just say the word. Yeah. But and there's lots of reasons I think why people don't talk. English is so normalized, right? And I think there's a trauma and history of residential schools, but then I have this suspicion, and I sympathize. I don't know this for sure, but it's just a feeling I get sometimes. I think there's a lot of words that have been forgotten, and I think that there's shame around that too, that some people have lost some language, and that creates, I think there's some shame around that too, where it's just like, it's easier just not to, right? And I don't blame people for that. Like, I can't make anybody do anything. There's so many reasons. But yeah, to the degree that we're able. And so for any fluent speakers out there, anybody that's listening that has the language, to the degree that you're able, if you have a phone or something to record on, and just, I would say, just record. What's that word? Yeah. Tigaste paiso. Record yourself, right? Telling stories. Maybe it's just some stories when you were a kid, or your family history, the history of your community, or relationships with other communities, or significant areas around where you live. Just anything you want to talk about, and leave that behind for your kids, your grandkids to work on, because they're going to wish that they had those recordings. They might not know now that they will wish they had captured those stories. I think about my grandma and all of the things I just don't know about her family. And I wish I could go back and just ask her some of those questions, So, and do it in the language. Namagigwe English. Gai gayasi mo nihiwe so squats. Just speak in the language. And you don't have to share it with us, but just, keep that somewhere tucked away. Or if you do want to share it with us, then we'll work on it. We'll bring it in. We'll work on it together. And then we can work with you and say, hey, what is this word? What does this mean? We can have those conversations. Transcribing is such a gift. It's such a beautiful thing. And I haven't had the chance yet, but I'm going to. One of these days, either record, or it would be amazing to even live stream, sitting with Wes and going through some of these issues and talking about some of these things. Because we'll get to a word and talk about a word, and then he'll start sharing more context, more. He'll start, chasing different threads in the story, and it's really quite amazing. So I'm hoping to get that, either a video or something of him doing that, because it's really quite. Tagaste paisu, shine a light on yourself. I was using this word here. I don't. This is very regional. Tagaste payu. Tagaste payu. Which is like payuin. Payuin. This is tigaste payuna. Payu. Is that how you say that, Neil? Tigaste payuna. Tigaste payuna. Something like that. I used to say tigaste payi tigana, but then I think there's this other word. Tigaste payihu. To film somebody, record somebody, make a video of somebody. So then could you say, Tagaste paiso? Tagaste paiso. Video yourself. Shine your phone at yourself. On record mode. Mate. That'd be super fun. I'm going to start telling stories too, but I'm watching this one guy, what's his name? Alex Fire Thunder, I think. Just go, let me see if I can find him on TikTok here. He pops up on my Facebook all the time. Alex, I met this guy in Edmonton, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Alex, I don't know if he's going to come up on TikTok. Alex Fire Thunder. Yeah, this guy. And he's telling us. Oh, that's playing on my. Well, yeah, I can play this for you guys. This guy here.
Every day for Native American Heritage Month till he starts speaking Lakota. Hokai. Lech datuki wazi chankile baslal eonglepi. Naha. Wakainjaki a tayok pipi chamija yomakpi. Na a ke.
Now,
wakikse amangahelo.
I met him and his wife in Edmonton. They're from South Dakota. The funny story, actually, we've been messaging each other on TikTok for a while, and just talking about spell checkers and transcribe and different stuff. And anyway, he was like, I was coming back from Saskatoon from the language conference, and he messaged me. He said, hey, sorry, it's been so long, it's been a while, just been busy, I'm on the road, but let's connect next week. I'm like, yeah, right on. I'm on the road too. I should be home next week. And he's like, yeah, we're in Edmonton. I'm like, what? I'm going to be in Edmonton in like 3 hours. I was on my way back. He was in Edmonton for the Stony Nakota, for the Nakota conference at the River Cree. I'm like, the guys from South Dakota, they flew in for this conference. So I'm like, I'm going to be in Edmonton for 3 hours. Let's go for supper. But it was him and his wife and their kids. They have 3 little ones. And he's Nakota N dialect, I think he said. Nakota, I forget now. But she's Lakota. And so he started learning her dialect, and that's all they speak in the home. And they had 3 little ones, 5, maybe like 5, 4, and 3 or something. And like the little kids were sitting at supper, these little ones, they just spoke the language. They didn't speak English at all. It was it was amazing. It was so amazing. But anyway, I just love that he's doing this for, I think, American Heritage Month or something like that. He tells a story every day, and I'm like, Neil, where are you at? You got to start doing. You got to start doing this for us, Neil. Story every day. I'm not quite there yet, but it's super cool just to see like somebody achieve a high degree of fluency. Somebody achieve a high degree, to the degree that they're able to tell a story, and he's telling a different story every day. It's amazing. It's amazing. So it's totally doable.
Homakshila, Weheha, Gakawa Eki, Chishna, Wazi Ojuwa Elshna.
Oh man, and doesn't Lakota sound amazing? Yeah. Niels, inipeu seteisa. Muikas tanto. Yazif. Yeah. Yeah. Aha, gaski tanaha. Ah, kamemo. Kaya pagitsi. Yeah. Neil says all my stories are crazy ones, not sacred ones. As if. I'll bring some tobacco for you. Get out those. You must have a few good stories. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there tonight. Thanks for sticking around. Kitami hinao mittane. Inanaskum tago mina inote atam how would you even say that? Atatam skatagok. Atatam skatagok mina nuts. Mittane miui teina ota epe witsa toskem toyak. Omutai nehi o atsumona gita atsumona. Miasin and mamiasin. Atoske winoma. Egwaya mitene inanaskum tagok epewitsi ek. Epe gilgoyek epe sitoskoyek anuts. Mistegi go epe sinamoyek kap. How do I say that? You give me a lot. You give us a lot when you kape tagosini kape when you sit and work with us, I'll say. Yeah. Samo te naskumu ya nanuts. Egwa ya kagisi tano egwa metone so squat se no tegete yan. Egwa my phone's gonna die, wista. No tegete o wis no tegete my gun wista. Gotta give it some power here. Yeah. Pago se mon ewi mio tips kansik kahkio. Egwa ya kohtagi kohtak spaige. Saimina kita mama wapia tatoskatama komagitam. This recording will finish this up. I don't know, we'll be finished next week. We got 6 minutes, but we'll get 3 more minutes done next week, and then a couple more weeks we'll have it wrapped up. So with that, kahkio kitam skat now. Mio tipskan sik. Hope everybody has a good night, and we'll see you on the next one. Say.